Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thank you for joining us. Hey, you may have heard about this in the news today. It was kind of big news. As some of you may know, today before the United States Supreme Court, a huge Second Amendment case was argued, perhaps the biggest case argued since the Heller decision over a decade ago. The matter is New York Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen. It has a huge impact on concealed carry law, but the question for us today is, does that case have any, or could it have any impact on us in Washington? So let's talk about how the most recent Supreme Court case will affect us here in Washington State. Okay, before we get rolling, you guys know the drill. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. If you want to stay up to date on issues related to your Second Amendment rights, click the subscribe button. Click the little bell logo if you want to be notified of new videos. And most importantly, let's keep the comments coming. This is how we're going to get a discussion going. This is how we build the Washington gun law community and get our videos out to more lawful and responsible gun owners like yourself. Okay, so as probably a lot of you heard on the news today, there was a huge Second Amendment case before the United States Supreme Court. Now, for those of you who have tracked the history of the Supreme Court has been very reluctant to take Second Amendment cases ever since the Heller decision over a decade ago. And while the Supreme Court can accept or deny review on just about anything, there have been some very important issues that have been offered to the Supreme Court, but they have so far yet decided to rule on it. Well, that all changed in the last year because, as we know, during the previous presidential administration, 3 new Supreme Court justices were appointed to the bench: Justice Gorsuch, Justice Kavanaugh, and Justice Coney Barrett. Now, that would lead many legal scholars to believe that there is a 6-3 conservative majority on the court, and that has some believing that this is why this case was accepted for certiorari. The issue is New York State's rather oppressive concealed carry law. Now, New York has a concealed carry law very similar to California, Maryland, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and a handful of other states. In New York, a person who applies for a concealed carry license must demonstrate a need to have that firearm. Simply stating that I want to protect myself, or I live in a dangerous neighborhood, or I'm involved in business that maybe involves a lot of cash, in many instances is not good enough to be able to conceal carry a firearm outside of the home. Well, individuals from the New York Rifle and Pistol Association filed suit against this and have challenged the constitutionality, stating that to restrict possession of a firearm outside the home is in fact to restrict one's Second Amendment rights to protect themselves. The Supreme Court, as you know, accepted review and oral argument was heard today. Now, legal scholars will oftentimes want to stick around and try to tell you how they think the court is going to decide based upon the types of questions and the tone of the questions. And certainly if you read some of the articles written today by some of the people who are really kind of geeking out about this stuff, it would appear that for those that are hoping to advance Second Amendment rights here, and I think there's a real question as, are we really advancing Second Amendment rights, or are we actually reaffirming what many of us already know? But for those who are on the pro-Second Amendment side of this argument, the questioning from the bench today appeared to be very positive. For those who are more interested in restricting access to firearms, restricting one's Second Amendment rights, restricting one's God-given right to defend themselves, the tone and tenor of the questioning today should not leave those individuals particularly encouraged. But we have been fooled by this before. The issue, though, of course, is how will this affect us in Washington? Well, as I mentioned, New York is a may-issue state. The state may or may not issue you the concealed carry license. It depends on whether or not you've met their individualized needs. Washington State, however, under RCW 9.41.050, is a shall-issue state, which means under our statute, Washington State has the duty to disprove your eligibility to possess a firearm. And if they are unable to disprove your eligibility to possess a firearm, then the state of Washington shall issue you a concealed carry license, or as we call concealed pistol license. For those of you who already have your CPL, you know you do not need to state a reason. You do not need any reason to carry concealed other than you just want to. As long as you are otherwise lawfully allowed to possess a firearm under RCW 9.41.040, law enforcement shall issue you that license, and it shall be issued within 30 days. Now, we know under current pandemic situations it's taking longer than 30 days, but the statute is still very clear that we are a shall issue state. So what does that mean for today's huge Supreme Court case? Well, if you are Gavin Newsom, the governor of New Jersey, or any of these other states that have worked feverishly to restrict the ability of individuals to defend themselves, yes, you should be very worried. We believe that your concealed carry laws days are numbered and that the Supreme Court is going to strike down may issue statutes. But for us here in Washington State, we live in a shall issue state. Now, that is good news for us. So the bottom line is that while I am very much rooting for the New York Rifle and Pistol Association to prevail in this, it will have very little, if any, effect on us here in Washington State. Listen, you may have more questions about your concealed carry rights or anything related to your Second Amendment rights. And if you do, don't ever hesitate to contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com, or you can always call us directly at 425-765-0487. Listen, part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.